Hey guys, welcome to Indie Invasion Podcast. I'm super excited. I told you guys a Batrep was coming and I was too excited to wait. So I have a solo Batrep for Twisted for you guys. And I've already recorded everything. And so I want to give you a little kind of precursor intro statement going into it. So what I was trying to do is I'm experimenting with some solo rules, kind of making them a little bit more concrete. So you may see some rules errors in the game. I wasn't playing it, say, to the best of my ability as far as the rules were, as much as I was just trying to see how the mechanics of playing it solo were going to work. But I'm super excited about it. The camera works, needs a little bit of work, but I think overall it came out really good. The sound, I'm going to switch microphones that I used, because it was a little bit of a sound issue, but I'm super excited. It's a starting point, and obviously it's my favorite game. So let's go on over to the table and check out exactly what I got. All right, guys, so we're going to get this underway. This is going to be a solo game of Twisted. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run you through how we're going to set up, and then I'll do the first turn. Try a couple different things as we experiment with these Batreps, but here's where we're going to start. So as you can see, I've got my cheat sheet there. Got my dice tray. Got my bad guys, which is going to be a series of bludgoners. Favor of the engine dice. My characters, and I'll be running Agatha, Hercule, Guardian Hunter, and Guardian Dervish. Priority token. There are my activation cards and a pass card because I am actually outnumbered. So the way this is going to work is we're going to start in phase 1, and I'm just going to walk you through these before we actually do these. So phase 1 of the first turn is going to be the sorting phase, where I will still sort my activation cards. You'll notice that there are no cards to sort for these guys. The reason for that is because they're going to activate slightly differently under some drone rules that I'm using. So they'll just activate the nearest model to an enemy. That's the sequence they'll operate in. Now, the reason I have activation cards is because the Eye of the Engine cards can still affect the way my deck is. So if the bad guys end up shuffling my deck, I won't know who's activating when. The next stage is going to be, or the next phase is going to be the favor phase. Now, for solo games, what I'm doing is the drones are going to automatically start with the favor of the engine. So that means I'll start with priority. But what we'll do is each turn we're going to actually roll an initiative, just like you do in a regular game of Twisted. So we'll roll a d20, subtract the number of models you have, and the high number will have priority. So for right now I have priority, but each turn we'll roll initiative. Then we'll do the Eye of the Engine draw. So what that's going to consist of is the drones are going to automatically get 2 Eye of the Engine cards. The sequence that those will be played in is one will be played on the very first activation of the first drone model. Their second one will be played on the action after the next action, if that made sense. Kind of stumbled over my words there. So let me give you an example. This guy will activate first, then this guy, then this guy is when that second Eye of the Engine card would go off. So that was much clearer than my last attempt to explain it. Now, because they have favor, they'll actually get 3 cards, okay? Because they have the favor of the engine. Over here, with mine, I obviously will still have my standard one Eye of the Engine card that I can play whenever I would like. The next stage is going to be the node's influence. And what that's going to be is any sort of random elements happening on the board while we're playing. So maybe some gas lamps will explode, or some sewer slimes will come crawling out, or some nasty poisonous fog will roll in, something along those lines. Now I have a next phase is going to be activation, which is going to be exactly like normal Twisted activations, except that when we activate the drones, what we're going to be doing is, like I said, we'll activate the closest model first, and each one will have a sequence which they operate by. and I'll go over that as soon as we start actually activating them. And that's going to be based on what they are, whether they are a bludgoner, a blaster, which obviously is going to be a ranged guy, or an alchemancers, which I will have one alchemancers on here for some random play for that as well. Then the next phase will be the generation phase. Now, that's going to be where we generate new baddies, where the engine does. However, I'm thinking of incorporating that right into the node's influence phase, a la Zombicide, where they're going to activate kind of in the middle, or not activate, but generate kind of in the middle. But we'll see how that works out. And then finally will be the maintenance phase. And then once we get to the maintenance phase, well, we'll clean everything up off the table and then roll back into the second turn. So for now, the way this is set up is the bludgoners will have the first activation, then I will activate, and then we will move through the turn just like that. Let's get into turn one and see what happens. All right, so we just finished our Eye of the Engine draw. There's the 3 for the drones. There's my one card, Elemental Healing, which unfortunately isn't really going to do me much good because I did not bring an alchemancers just to simplify this particular game. But that's okay. So let's begin with the activation. I have priority, so I am going to begin with my Guardian Dervish, who has a... Actually, I'm not going to begin with. I don't know why I said that. I'm going to flip my card. It's because I knew I put it there. And begin with my Guardian Dervish, who has a speed of 6. So what we're going to do is put down this sweet Indie Invasion measuring widget and move up 6. And going to move again to right about there. So we're going to move to right there with her, and then she will count as having run in case anyone shoots at her, but I'm not going to put the token down because no one has shooting attacks on the other side. So not a big deal there. So we're going to go over here, and the way we're going to determine movement for these guys, these special chaps right here, is with a D10. Now, here's the thing about the drone movement. If a drone can see an enemy model, then they will move, this is in this case a bludgoner, they will move towards that enemy model. For the ones that can't, like, let's see. It looks like all but him will be able to see them. So he'll move in a random direction. Hopefully he'll follow them. So these guys, they have a whopping movement of 4, and we can kind of cheat because I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 down to there because these are 1-inch squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of like a board game like this, right? All right. I don't know why I moved 2 of them. Anyway, let me back him up. First battle report. Cut me some slack. All right, so that's that one. And then we're going to go back over here. And then we are going to flip my next card. My next card is the Guardian Hunter. He's right here. He has a speed of 5. So this is low enough that he can move 1, 2 to get up there. And his movement is 5. 3, 4, 5. So there we go. Now he has clear line of sight on that guy, and he's probably going to make the Guardian Dervish mad because he's going to take a shot. He's going to be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inches. So let's take a look at his card, and let's do this. On his card, his Giselle is range 7, so that's going to be no modifiers. I'm not going to use a lot of skills on this solo one just to kind of get the feel for it. So what I'm going to do here is this die is going to be the Scions because it has orange, and this die is going to be the bad guys. So we're going to roll those Scions, and in classic Mac fashion, I miss miserably because that's what I do. But that's okay because then we go back over here. I think I might need to put this on a Lazy Susan. Then we go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's looking kind of bad for the dervish there. But we'll see if we can't help out with old Agatha. Probably shouldn't call her old Agatha if she happens to be next. Let's see. Next is Hercule. Hercule is going to be speed 4. So let's flip that over. Speed 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't even know why I did that. All right, and what can Hercule do? See, he has fairly short range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. However, that guy is in short range, so no reason not to take the shot. He's going to have an attack value of 5 for shooting, so that's pretty good, and he's going to have no modifiers for that because that guy's in the open. So let's go ahead and roll that. There we go. All right. So I got a 17 to a 13, so I'm going to add a 5 to this one because it's Hercule, so that's going to bring me to 22. And then for the bludgeoneer, for his defense, he has no range defense, so he's just going to take the shot because he lost as a 22 to a 13. So we'll come back over here, take a look at Hercule's weapon. Hercule's weapon is going to be a D6 plus 7, and it has stun. So let's roll a D6. Oh, there we go. There's the dice talking to me good. So that's going to be a 1, which is going to bring our total to 8. I'm sorry, I rolled the wrong die. It's a D8. I guess I need bigger glasses, stronger ones. There we go. All right, D8 plus 7. So that's going to give us a 10. And we come over here to the bludgeoneer for his armor. His armor is 5. So what that's going to do is that is going to reduce his wounds because the armor is going to reduce the damage by 5. So he's going to take 5 damage. So we'll put 5 damage on that guy. And then we will move on to the next person for Hercule. Now for the next guy, we'll activate one of the Eye of the Engine cards for these guys. And this is, character affected by this card may take a +3 bonus on a single ranged attack. Well, they don't have any ranged attacks, so they won't be taking anything of the sort. This one can also see, so he's going to move down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry about the dog barking. And we're going to come over here again. I could use my pass, but I'm not going to. I'm going to take my last card and flip it, and that's going to be Agatha. So what I'm going to do with Agatha is, because of her special ability and her keen relationship with her good friend Hercule, I'm going to go ahead and take a shot with her elephant gun and use Hercule's spotter ability. And what that's going to do, I'll flip that over so you can see the spotter ability. What spotter is going to do is, let me do this. There we go. Agatha may shoot using Hercule's line of sight and may fire around corners. So I think that's pretty cool. I don't know if I need to, so I think maybe I'll just move her up. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to put her range at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And for her, that's still going to be short range for her elephant gun. So let's go ahead and roll elephant gun versus bludgeoneer. And I rolled a 1 compared to a 2. And all I needed to do was roll a 2. But I failed. A 1 is always going to be a failure, sadly. And that makes me sad. So what we're going to do now is move another bludgeoneer. And these last two can actually see as well. I don't have anybody left to move over there, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm trying to block them off because the objective is to get to the big ship up there. So, and then we will flip their other Eye of the Engine card, which is going to be, let's see here. Let me get that. Whoops. My little light fell off. Sorry about that. Learning. When played, this card allows a single Alchemancers on the table to change the alchemantic invocations he or she has selected for the game. This is not an action. Well, my Alchemancer for this side is randomly determined anyway, so that's really not going to matter. So darn for them. But for him, we have to randomly determine his direction. And he is going to go, see, that's pointing that way, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And since he can't see anyone, he only gets the single action because he was not able to see anyone. That's an important distinction. So that is going to be everyone activated. So now what we're going to do is we would go to the generation phase. And for this particular scenario, I'm not actually going to generate anymore because I'm mostly just playing with what I want to do with the solo rules. I'm not really hard and fast on what is specifically going to happen as far as solo rules. And then we'll go to the maintenance phase. Now I had a bunch of models who ran in that little cluster right there. I didn't bother to put any tokens down because honestly I left them out of reach, but I'm going to grab them in between the phase. So that is going to be the end of turn 1. And what we have for the end of turn 1 that has happened, kind of in a nutshell, is we have Hercule and Agatha advanced and both shot, did a whopping 5 points of damage. This fine fellow shot, also missed. My dervish got into position, which is good. And all of the bludgoner drones advanced because they could all see. And then Gepetto, he still cannot see anybody, unfortunately. However, if he gets up here and gets a bird's eye view, that's going to be pretty good for him because he's going to be randomly generating alchemancy spells. And so he could really put a hurting on him since they have to get all the way up here and he's on the steps. So let's transition into turn 2. All right, so here we go with turn 2. Nothing really has changed because it's been like a split second for you. A little longer for me. All right, so first thing we're going to do is the sorting phase. And for simplicity's sake, I like the way I had activated last time, so I'm actually going to just leave them. It's not like I have to be secretive about it because my opponent is invisible, not actually there. So we're good there. So we're going to come over here. And next is going to be the favor phase, which is also where we're going to determine that initiative. So we're going to get a 9 for the Scions and a 15 for the bad guys. Bad is subjective and twisted. So we're going to take the priority token, put it over here. Ooh, that could be bad. But they can still change hands, so that is okay. That's not going to hurt anything. Then we're going to move into the Eye of the Engine draw. Bludgeoners still have favor, so they're going to get 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to get 1. Let's see what I got. Oh, Fate Switch. Pre-activation, at any stage during the turn, you may swap the results of a single D20 roll with your opponent, declared after the dice have been rolled. Ooh, that is a wonderful one. I love that card. That might actually pay some dividends for me with the way that I roll. All right, so next up is the Node's Influence. I didn't roll that in front of you guys last time, but I will now. So it's a D12. I've got a chart here, and I've got a 9. So that is still going to be no effect. So nothing has happened. And again, what I have on the chart, that may change, so things may happen a little bit more frequently. Just kind of have to play it out and see what I like. So first up, we are going to begin. Whoops, I forgot to put that card back. We're going to begin with flipping this card because this is the first activation. So all is dark. All right, so all is dark. We got the immediate vicinity of the skirmish is thrown into darkness. For the next turn, no ranged attacks may be made and line of sight is limited to 6 inches. Oh dear, that is going to hurt me. Woo, that's bad. All right, we will start with this bludgoner right over here. And he is going to move right in to close combat right there. All right. And then we're going to go over here and we're going to see what happens with the close combat. So we have a bludgoner. He's going to have an attack value of 4. All right. He's attacking the guardian dervish who has a defense value of 4. So it's going to be an even Steven roll. Let's see what we get. Whoops, one out of the box. Boop, boop. Oh dear. And we got a 13 and a 14. So they just managed to get me. So now for the bludgeoneer, his damage with his sharp stuff is going to be d6 plus 4 plus strength. So let's grab a d6. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 4 more is 9 for his total strength. So we're going to go grab this handy dandy thing, swing over here to the Guardian Dervish. Guardian Dervish has an armor of 6, so is going to take 1, 2, 3 damage. Well, doggone it. That was rather unpleasant, I must say. I don't think I liked that. All right, moving on. Gonna flip over my first card because he didn't get a card to switch mine up. Guardian Dervish again. I am going to reciprocate, and I'm going to attack back right there because it needs to be done. It just needs to be done. So let's see how this goes with the Dervish attacking. And in classic Max style, I have rolled an 18 and a 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this card, and I'm going to swap the results of the roll. Okay? Now, here's where it's going to get funny, because I'm going to swap these results so that I have the 18 and he has the 2. However, they have the favor of the engine, and if at any point they fail by less than 5, then they'll use the favor. So that's going to be way more than 5, so it's not going to waste the roll. But if they fail by less than 5, so in other words, if it's super close, they're going to use favor of the engine in order to try to overcome that. Hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, throw something in the comments and I'll try to clarify that either in the end of the video or in the comments section. We'll see what happens. So that means, since I was able to use my engine card, I am going to hit with an 18. Let's make sure there's nothing fancy I can do here. Let's see. I'm not using the canopic jars right now. All right. Nope. So, like I said, I'm not maximizing the abilities right now because, number one, this is my first battle report, and number two, I'm playing more with the solo rule mechanics than I am anything else. So you don't have to tell me all the cool stuff I missed. So Scimitar is going to be D8 plus 4 plus 5. So D8 plus 9. Let's roll it. There's a D8. Oh, man, it's always a 1 or a 2, isn't it? So that's going to be a total of 11 against that lovely armor of 5. So he's going to take 6. I did attack a different one because it's not the same one that was shot previously. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got a little bit of damage going on there. That's good. Now we'll attack the next one. Or, I'm sorry, activate the next one, which is going to be the one that is wounded. And he's going to move up right there, just like that. Boom. So now we're getting a little bit double teamed there. A little bit of double team going on. And he is also going to attack with his massive attack value of 4 against that massive defense value of 4. So it's an even up roll. And, oh my dear, I think I'm going to lose my dervish. Wouldn't be terribly surprised. So that is a successful attack. And again, the sharp stuff is going to be D6 plus 4 plus strength. So it's D6 plus 8. See, I'm the best person to play against because I can't roll dice. So it's going to be a total of 9. And with an armor of 6, that's going to be 3 damage, 3 more damage to our Guardian Dervish. Oh dear. Not going well at all. Not going well at all. All right, so next up for me, I will activate, boom, Guardian Hunter. Now, obviously I don't want to get picked on anymore over there, so my Guardian Hunter is going to do his very best. Now, they are trying to leave, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to right there. then that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to reach him. All right, and that is going to be short range for the Giselle. So as long as I don't botch this, I'll be okay because they don't have a defense value. Oh, I got an 18. That's very good. That'll be the only good roll I have. All right. So damage for the Giselle is going to be D10 plus 6. Now this is another unwounded one, unfortunately, because I didn't want to fire into close combat. That's a bummer. That's 8, so it'll be 3 damage to number 3 bludgeoneer. You can see I have my damage nicely spread all over the place, because that's how I do it. All right, so then we move on to the next bludgeoneer. Now the next closest one is going to be here. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Huh. Well, that's not good. So that's not a charge, but it still initiates a close combat, unfortunately for my dervish. So here we go. So now we're outnumbered, so he's going to get an additional bonus, and he's attacking from behind for another additional bonus, which really didn't make any difference because I got a 4 and a 16, and I forgot to flip over their engine card. So this will be for this activation. Random opposing character must immediately move 4 inches. This movement is random. Ooh, that could benefit me. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 for the random. 3. It's going to be my Guardian Hunter. Oh dear. 4 inches in a random direction. Let's see where he's going to move. Oh, that's not terrible. So it'll be 1, 2. We'll call that 3, 4 for having to cross over that. So that's going to put him from there to there. That's not terrible. Not terrible. Not great, but not terrible. So we have this combat now resolving. So let's try that out and see what happens with some big numbers for the bad guys. Oh, Lord. True Mac fashion. I roll terribly. All right, so we got D6 plus 8 for the sharp stuff that the bludgeoneers love to use. Boop. And yet another one. How about that? So that is fortunately going to be 9, but they're just plinking away on that dervish. Just plinking away. 1, 2, 3, almost to a wounded state. That is not good for me. Well, I think the dervish might just be the one who holds the line for us so that we don't, so that we can get away. The dervish is going to have to nobly sacrifice herself in order for us to do that. Okay, so next up is Hercule, is the next card I flip. And just a reminder, the reason my cards are still flipped and sorted is because there are Eye of the Engine cards that can affect my deck. So he's going to go 1, 2. I think that's going to work for him. And then he's going to shoot at that back one that has been shot before at a range of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for Hercule, let's flip him back over. That is going to be short range. So that's a good thing. All right, let's go over here and let's see if we can take one out. Come on, baby. Look at that. Look at that. Do you guys see that? That's a 1 and a 2. Yes. For those of you that would like to come play a game against me, feel free to. You will most likely win based on the way I roll. But I don't mind because I have fun. All right, so next up, let's see. That everybody can see, so we're going to go with nearest, and that's going to actually probably be this. 1, 2, 1, 2, but there's people in the way. So this one's going to go bump, bump, and he's going to be in close combat with my, with my shooter, with my lovely Guardian Hunter. All right, Guardian Hunter, I fear greatly for your safety at this point. Things are not looking well for you, my friend. Prepare to meet your doom. I can just feel it. All right, so Guardian Hunter is going to be a defensive 3 in close combat against that 4 attack value of the bludgeoneer. 10 and 9. Boo. All right, so once again, D6 plus 8 with the sharp, pointy things. Uh-oh, that's not good. That's 12. But again, we have an armor of 6, so that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Woof. 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 This may be a short demo, or a short Batrep. That's okay. That's okay. I don't mind. All right, so that is that combat over there. That's going to leave me with one more. I haven't used my pass card because I feel like what I really want to do is just I want to rush as much as I can to try and get as close as I can and then just kind of blow past them. I should probably be running with Hercule and Agatha, but I feel like I need to thin the ranks at least a little bit. So on that note, let's do this. I'm going to try to be sneaky here. Here we go. All right, Agatha. She has a whopping movement of 4. She's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's every woman for yourself there, I guess. So she's got a little safety back there. Okay, Agatha. Hercule, you might want to come running along behind us. All right, and let's swing over to the other side, which is going to be this final guy here. He's going to go like so. Let me zoom that out a little bit. Sorry. Learning on this Batrep. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Ugh. I fear that the dervish may be in a great deal of trouble. Great deal of trouble. So let's come over here, grab our dice, and see what happens. All right, so we've got outnumbered for +1, flanked for another +1, so that's going to put their attack value at 6. And my defense at 4. Uh-oh. This is a new die. I'm pretty sure that's a 20. Oh, it is a 20. Dagnabbit. Well, I definitely missed that one. Oh, I don't think that the bludgoners have anything that will... Unthinking, resilient, and relentless. Okay. Well, that's good. Nothing too terrible. All right, so... It's gonna half my armor. So that's gonna be, what was it? 3 plus 8. Oh no, so that's gonna be 11. Should have known that from the last one, right? Because I did 12 to myself last time. So it's gonna be 11 with only 3 armor. Ugh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Down goes the Guardian Dervish as the drones pummel the Guardian Dervish into next to nothing. Poor Guardian Dervish. Things are looking grim for the Scions of the Sand. Alright, so the Scions are done. That's going to leave Gepetto over there. So what we're going to do with Gepetto is... Now, I have been messing up the sequence with the cards, and you have to forgive me for that. I'll get that corrected. Alright, Engine's Hammer. Ranged and close combat attack characteristics of the affected character are increased by 2 until the next maintenance phase. Well, that's favorable to the Scions because as it stands right now, good old Gepetto, I don't believe, let's get a Gepetto eye view here. Boop. Doesn't look like Gepetto can see anyone. So we're safe from that. So he's going to make a random direction move. And again, we'll get the D10. And that's going to be 1, 2, 3. Oh no. Now, this is what Gepetto sees. Oh dear. Things are looking grim indeed for the Scions of the Sand. Ooh, you know, it's really not fair either, though. My good buddy Raul plays the Scions, and I don't. So not only am I experimenting with the solo rules, but I genuinely have no idea what I'm doing with the Scions. But that's okay, because I am having fun. All right, so at this point, we would go into the generation phase. But like I said, we're not going to be generating any new critters for this scenario. Obviously, I don't need to, because they're hurting me much badly. But that's okay. And then we will go into the maintenance phase. So I don't really have anything to clean up for the maintenance phase, except for my Eye of the Engine cards to reshuffle the decks and all that good stuff. So I'm going to do that, and we will go into turn 3. Okay, so here we go into turn 3. And in turn 3, we're going to roll initiative again. We have some different modifiers here because I'm down people. So bad guys get an 8, -5 because that's how many they have left, which is going to bring them to a 3. I have a 5 -3, which can bring me to a 2, so they maintain priority. That's okay. That's okay. I'm still going to win. So that was, oh, and the sorting phase was already done. I did that off camera because that's not really that exciting to watch. That was the favor phase. Then we go to the eye of the engine phase. They still maintain the favor, so they will get 1, 2, and 3. I will take 1. And mine is, let's take a look at it, Fate Switch. Oh man, I got the same card. Okay, that's actually pretty good that I got the Fate Switch, so I can swap the D20 roll, and I did shuffle them, I promise. All right, but unfortunately, they do have the initiative. But we are at the node's influence phase first, so we got to roll a D12. Boop. 9. So still nothing is going to happen for the influence, the node's influence. Nothing bad. And again, I think I'll have the generation phase happen there, at least initially. Try it out, see what happens. Because, you know, I don't think my opponent hasn't complained yet, so I think I'm good. So anyway, what we're going to do is right over here, this lovely fella is going to come in at the old Hercule. Boom. All right. And so we have for Hercule, we've got a defense value of 4 against an attack value of 4. Let's see what happens. Hercule with a 10, bad guy with an 8. Woohoo! Hercule comes out on top. You go, boy. All right, so that was the first activation for them. And doggone it, I keep forgetting this. First activation, they get a card. All is dark. No ranged attacks. Goodness gracious. Why? Why? Why does that happen? Why does that happen to me? Because it's fun. Just kidding. Okay, so it's over to my turn. And anything I've messed up, trust me, I'll get it straight. This is my first one, so just a modicum of mercy would be appreciated. So first up, we have Hercule. As we just saw, he is engaged in combat. He has an attack value of 4 and a big, gigantic iron fist. Fortunately, this is a wounded guy, so maybe, just maybe, we can take him out. It's going to be attack value of 4 versus a defense value of 3. I got a 10 for a 14. He got a 9 for a 12. Finally, we did a little something, and Hercule's damage is going to be D6 plus 7. D6 plus 7 total. So let's see what happens. Let's get this D6 here. Ooh, that's not too bad. So a total of 10. Let's see, with an armor of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So close, but at least he's in a wounded state, and that's going to make him much easier to slap around. Unfortunately, actually the next closest is going to be this one over here. So he will be attacking the Guardian Dervish. Whoops, let's see what happens. So we got a 12 to a 17, and the Guardian Dervish will successfully defend. Oh, excuse me. That is fantastic. So he successfully defends, which is absolutely wonderful because I desperately needed something good to happen. Needed something good to happen. And it did, so I'm happy about that. All right, so that one's not wounded though. I know I'm missing some actual play steps, but like I said, this is primarily to try out what's happening solo. So just bear with me. Next up we have Agatha. Going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So she's trying desperately to get to those stairs. Unfortunately, she's going to have an Alchemanswer to get past. Unfortunately. All right, so next up, this is going to be the other engine card. Let's flip that one over. Mental Flood. A random opposing character must immediately move 4 inches. I must not have separated these. Stand by. Let me shuffle these last two. Thought I shuffled them a little better than that. It's hard to shuffle one-handed. Let me grab these. There we go. Wither and Die. A random opposing character on the board is inflicted with 1d6 wounds, bypasses armor and all protective effects. Oh dear. All right, so we're going to do a d6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, Agatha. All right, let's see what she takes. 4 bypassing armor. Fortunately, she has a good bit of life. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. It's looking bad. It's looking bad. Looking real bad. All right. Dear. Now we're going to move this guy because that's who's next in line. 1, 2, 3, 4. And unfortunately, we have another attack coming on Hercule. I hope you guys that are watching... Oh my goodness, is that another natural 20? Goodness gracious. All right. So we have D6 plus 8 for damage from the bludgoners. Oh, please tell me that's a 1. It's not a 1. Oh my goodness. These are new dice, so I didn't know which was which. Oh my gosh. That's terrible. 14. Lordy, lordy, lordy. All right, 14. But he's got an armor of 7, so that's super good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That part wasn't super good. Oh my goodness. All right. Next up, this fellow, the Guardian Hunter. All right, what I need is a crit on this one so I can get past this guy. I'm tempted to make a finesse check to get out of close combat just so I can try. So I would need a 14 on a finesse of 4. So I need a 10. Let's do it. A 17. Yes, that is fantastic. All right, so let's go over here. It's a disengage. All right, whoops. Let me get that camera in the right spot. Sorry about that. New to the camera thing. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Decisions. He's already activated. I've activated everyone. So we'll go over here and we'll actually flip our last engine card for the bad guys. Or the good guys, depending on who your best friend is. All right, and here we're going to have opponent must shuffle their activation cards. Okay, well, I can't shuffle them. I would happily shuffle them to reactivate everyone again, but I'm afraid that's not in the rules. Okay, so here's where it's going to get kind of ugly, right here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Did that on purpose because really I'm trying to leave space for the other guy. I don't know if he can actually get there. So unfortunately, outnumbered, which is going to be +1 for them, and I'm flanked. I'm sorry, and they're attacking from the rear. Oh my goodness. That's terrible. But I got a 19 to their 6, so Hercule holds on against that particular attack. Unfortunately, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that just happened. Look at that. Oh, Hercule. Here's where we need that natural 20, buddy. That's not a natural 20. That's a 12 and an 18. Of course, if we looked at it that way, we could pretend it was a 21. But okay, we're not going to cheat like that. My opponent doesn't like it when I cheat. Just kidding. I don't cheat anyway. All right, so unfortunately, that is going to be a hit on us. So let's hope that he doesn't hammer us like he did last time, because he really put the hurt on. Okay, that's much better. That's much better right there. So that's going to be a total of 9, because remember, the bludgeoneer is going to be sharp stuff is D6 plus 4 plus his strength. So that's going to be D6 plus 8. So it's going to be a total of 9. 9 unhappy points. But Hercule has an armor of 7. So 1, 2. And I do love Hercule, but there comes a time, remember, the objective and winning is getting off the board. That's a long way to go. That's a long way to go. Okay, now the last one we have to activate is going to be this fine chap here. Unfortunately for me, he can now see people. And this is what that means. Here we go. New phase, stand by. Here it comes. All right, so here's how this is going to work. He will roll twice on the alchemantic invocations, because it's just gonna be a random effect for this. So I'm gonna roll 1d4 and I'm gonna get a 1. So that's gonna put us on the fire school invocations. So I'm gonna roll twice. I've got a 6 and an 8. So that is gonna give us fire burst and bolster. Okay? Now, as you can see, the number of actions is why we rolled for 2. So the rule for the Alchemaster AI is if he is in cover and he has spells that will only cost 1 action, he can cast them both. So with a fire burst, he's looking at power 2, which is irrelevant for an AI. That's not going to matter. It's going to be a range of 14, 2-inch blast template, D10 plus 4. Yikes. Difficulty 12. So let's see if he gets that spell off. He definitely gets the spell off. Obviously, he's going to be casting right there at that lovely person. Since there's nobody else even near him, I won't bother to put the token or the template on him. So that's going to be a D10 plus 4. Yikes. Okay, so that's going to be a total of 10. That's potentially bad. Let's see where it puts us here. 10 with an armor of 6. That's going to give us 4 more damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whew. Looking kind of grim there. Looking kind of grim. So he casts this giant fireball right at him. Fire burst. And then he also rolled an 8, which is bolster. Adds D4 strength and heals D4 plus 2 life. Unfortunately, well, can he see any of them? He can. I'd really like him to cast that on Hercule, but I don't think he's going to do that. So what he'll do is he'll target the bolster. It is a difficulty of 13. Let's see if he can get it. He got another 19. Excellent for him. So I'm going to heal D4 plus 2 and add D4 to one of these wounded guys that's currently attacking Hercule. And I will do it with the most wounded one. So D4 to his strength. So we're going to do plus 2 to his strength. That's going to be bad for Hercule on the next one. And then it's going to heal D4 plus 2. So it's going to heal 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that will take him out of a wounded state. Yikes. Not so good. Not so good. All right. So that is going to be the end of this turn, and things are looking particularly grim for our friends, the Scions of the Sand. Let's roll into the next turn. Okay, guys, here we go into turn 4. I'm going to roll initiative first because, let me explain why, because I've already done the sorting phase. My cards are sorted. I know they're hard to see because they're right there. They're black. I've also done the favor phase. 3 cards for the drones. 1 card for me. Unfortunately, my card's not going to be a whole lot of help. It's lockdown, and I wouldn't be able to leave the board. Not that I expect to get that far, but I wouldn't be able to interact with anything. So that's not really going to impact me at all in this turn. However, the old initiative roll may. So let's see what we got. In classic Mac form, we have a 2 for the Scions and a 4 for the bludgoners. So that is quite unfortunate. Oh dear. Okay, here we go. That's what happens when you don't play the Scions. So for their first activation, the bad guys are going to flip a card. Finally got that sequence right. Ranged and close combat attack characteristics of the affected character are increased by 2 until the next maintenance phase. That is not good because that's going to be the one, obviously. So that's the wounded guy there. And in the interests of making it fair to the bad guys, that's the one who's using it. Because I really don't think Hercule's going to make it anyway, but that's okay. So that's going to make him an attack value of 6, because obviously he's going to attack Hercule. Let's see what happens. 9 to a 17. Oh my goodness. All right, now he is +2 strength, so he's going to be D6 plus 10. Whew. 12. So that's not too bad. That could have been a lot worse, especially with an armor of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still, not the best in the world. Not the best in the world for old Hercule. He's having a bit of a hard time there, but he shall persevere. I assure, well, probably not, but that's okay. All right, and then we're going to move on to the next part. I'm sorry, we skipped the node's influence, but quite frankly, I'm comfortable with skipping that phase because anything adverse that were to happen is not going to be good for the Scions, because I don't think they're going to make it out of this anyway. So let's move on. First up, Guardian Hunter. I have something of a plan. Now, I have the generic Alchemancers as being pretty squishy because of the possibilities of you know, really jacking you up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm going to move him there. I think I just broke his gun. All right. And he's going to take a shot at that fine fellow because I believe, let me see. I'm going to put my head down here. I can see him. He is going to have cover, though, sadly, based on my rolls, sadly. So let's see what happens. Drum roll, please. A 5 to a 9. Uh-oh. I'm going to have to go around and look at numbers on this one. We need to see range. It's going to be, let's see, might actually need a, that's going to be a little different here. So we're going to be 6, looks like 10. We'll say 10. We'll say 10 since I'm one-handed. And 10, oh dear, that's going to give him a -2, which is going to put him at a 7. And then my friend has cover. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, so which is going to bring, okay, so that brings that up to a 7 and that up to a 7. The cover is going to bring this number up to a 7 because it's going to bring his defense up total, so I'm just going to add it here. And then his minus is going to bring that down. So let's see. Nervous. His attack value for ranged is 4. So that's going to bring his total up to 11. Defense value for the Alchemancers against shooting is going to be 4. I have it written off to the side. So let's do the math real quick for what we have here. So we've got a +4 to shoot. That's going to bring us to a 13, but it's going to be -2 because of the range. So that's going to be down to an 11. So let's flip that to an 11 so we don't forget. That's our total. This one's close, man. Then we got 5, okay? And we have a value of, what did I say, 3 or 4? Now I don't remember. We'll say 4. So that brings it up to a 9. Oh no, this is the worst day ever. And then +2 for cover, which brings it up to an 11, which unfortunately, boom, favor of the engine. He takes all ties. Dagnabbit. So close. So close. And now we're going to bring the horrific pain right there. This may be ending here shortly. If Hercule goes down, we're going to call this a failed mission. All right, so here we go. We have an attack value of 4 versus a defense value of 4. And we are going to 9 and 3. He's outnumbered and attacked and being flanked. But fortunately for him, he is still going to come out on top on that one. So that's a good thing. Unfortunately, there's a lot more guys to go in that little group. So back over to them. Agatha. All right, Agatha. This is your time, my dear. Run. Run for all you're worth. 1. Let's see if we can get in here so we can see what I'm doing. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not too bad. Let's get in here. It's going to put her right there with some serious potential. Man, if I can get a good shot on that guy, you never know what might happen. We shall see. We shall see. We shall see. All right, unfortunately, there's going to be another attack on Hercule and a card. Let's see what the card says. All effects have a duration of more than 1 turn. End immediately. This cancels every effect on the table that has a duration. Okay, we're good. I think we're good there. Technically, the fireball is still over there, but we don't have to worry about that because nobody's over there currently. What we do have to worry about is this roll. 15 to a 12. Ooh, okay. So they're going to be, this is going to be the other flanked one. So he's going to be +1, plus he's outnumbered, so that's +2 to bring that up to a 14 with an attack value of 4 to an 18. And fortunately, that's going to be a 19 for Hercule, so he makes it one more round. Come on, buddy, you can do it. All right, here we go. Last up is Hercule. All right, he is going to go after this guy. Actually, he's going to go after the guy that's behind him that has not attacked yet. Unfortunately, the guy behind him has not taken any damage either. You never know. Maybe we'll get an amazing roll and not. So we got a 14 to a 19. So, and for those of you who have watched the podcast and heard me say that I can't roll when I play, there you go. You have seen living proof in game for how that happens. So, so here we go. This is going to be the last attack of these guys right here. And then our last engine card is going to go off with the Alchemaster. So here we go. Whoops. I never take them outside of there. Hey, hey, look at that. A natural 20. Hercule, I don't know how you do it, my friend, but you have survived yet another round. All right, so then we go to the Alchemaster. Unfortunately for us, he can see. And we're going to flip this card over and see what he gets. He gets, character affected by this card has their finesse character increased by 3 until the next maintenance phase. Well, fortunately, that's not really going to impact the Alchemaster, so that's okay. No worries there. But we get to generate new spells because that's just fun to do. So first up is going to be 6, not what I wanted to see. That's Fireburst. Oh, whoops, sorry about that. I need my D4. I left it on the other side of the table. So we will do a D6, re-rolling 5s and 6. 1. Okay, fire chart again. 6. Alrighty, so that's going to be Fireburst again, and 3, Forge Heat. All right, both of those are single actions, so that's good. Forge Heat adds 2 damage to close combat. It's too late for that, so he's just going to straight up use his fire, and I think it's safe to say that the place he's going to be able to most effectively use it is right here, because due to the angle right there, I don't think he can see her. So let's see what happens. Can he get the spell off for Fireburst with a difficulty of 12? Yes, because he does have an Alchemancy score of at least 1. Otherwise, he wouldn't be an Alchemancer, would he? That's correct. He would not. Sadly, this is once again going to do D10 plus 4 damage to our friend. Okay, that's not too bad. That was 9. That was 9 to our good friend Guardian Hunter. Unfortunately, 9 with an armor of 6 is still going to do 3. 1, 2, 3, and he is now in a wounded state. Oh dear. All right, my friends. I think I'm going to safely call that one that I don't think that Agatha is going to be able to make it past this guy. Although she has not been hurt yet, she has lost pretty much everyone. So I'm going to call that a successful dry run of a solo game. As I'm trying to put together stuff, I've always played solo games, but I think I'm going to call that one a wash. And let's have a recap. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out and wrestling through my first attempt at a bat rep. I appreciate it if you made it this far. As you can see from my bat rep in classic Max style, I rolled horribly for myself and exceptionally well for the bad guys. Bad guys being a subjective term in Twisted. But I'm not normally a Scions player, like I said in the video, so I don't really know them all that well. Probably the next solo one I do, I'll use the Dickensian, so I actually know what I'm doing. However, I think overall it went really well. You guys throw some comments in the comment section and let me know what you thought about it. I realize I need some practice with the camera work for angles and things like that, and my light died at one point in the video as well, which didn't affect it too much because I have pretty decent lighting on my gaming table. But let me know what you guys thought about the video, and I'm looking forward to making more. I had a ton of fun doing the actual video, and the editing part is the least fun, but we got her done. So in that vein, guys, be on the lookout for more bat reps. I can't wait to do them for you. And until then, prepare yourself for the invasion.